I can't say you got a good foundation if you lose to the Commanders and the Giants.
You win some, you lose some.
Okay.
But in
All
their
right.
defense,
Okay.
in their defense.
All right. Welcome to the In My Defense podcast, where we chop it up about sports, culture, and life the way it was meant to be discussed. Bold takes, thoughtful analysis, and real talk. Nothing's personal, but in my defense, if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. A lot to get to in the world of sports, but it is the holiday season. A lot of pressure when it comes to gift giving. And so we got to bring in marketer extraordinaire, my frat brother, Quentin Wright McDuffie. Yo, Q, it's a lot going on during the holiday season. I know you got a house full. I'm expecting a house full. How are we supposed to navigate this?
I don't know too much about that, brother. We don't navigate it with love, but we navigate it with our wallets. We navigate it with our wallets. That's how we navigate this holiday season. And for those listeners, you guys are tuning in to what was recorded on Christmas Eve. So happy early Christmas and happy and Merry Christmas to you guys. But this episode, you will get it as you open up your gifts, as you say I love yous to your family, as you say your thank yous. And we hope that this episode brings you a little bit more joy on that Friday post gift giving for Christmas. But we're here to tell you that 'tis the season to be jolly, and then hopefully you didn't see Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. You remember that song, Canty?
Wow. I don't remember the song. I do remember the sentiment, though. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, if you caught Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, let's just say you thought Daddy was about to spaz out a little bit.
And then you
just
realize that Santa Claus is
just a
Daddy.
tad
Then you
bit.
realize Santa Claus
Yeah.
is Daddy. And that's where all the gifts are coming from. I.e., why you said the holiday season is about our wallets more than our hearts.
Yeah, it's more about the wallets than our hearts. But you know what? We want to make sure we get into the show, have everybody celebrate, and have everybody full off of gifts, love, and gift giving. But we will release some content before Friday so we can tell everybody Merry Xmas, Thursday's Christmas holiday. But for you, Canty, what you got planned? What you got planned for the holidays?
So I got the famo coming in town. My parents coming from Charlotte, North Carolina. My mother-in-law coming from Chicago, Illinois. My brother and his two kids coming down from Portland, Maine. So it's going to be a house full. We're excited, man. The wifey is hooking it up. She's making the oxtails this Christmas. Can't wait for that. Oxtails? Gee.
What Mel know about some oxtails? She from Chi. She from the Chi.
What you need to know is I married the best cook that I know, which is my wife. And yeah, I said it. My wife is a better cook than my mama. And I put that on my mama. And she know that. I done told my mama that. I done told my dad.
Don't get popped upside the head while she walking past.
Listen, it is what it is. I got to live with my wife. I ain't got to live with my mama. That's just the reality of it. Here's the other side of the game. My dad actually co-signed on it. But, privately, when he and I had a conversation, he actually agreed with what I had to say in my assessment of the two cooks, the two canny women in the kitchen. I'm just going to put it out there. But I married the best cook that I know. During the holidays is when she shines, is where she thrives. Of course, we talked about her making the duck on Thanksgiving. She's making the oxtails in the Dutch oven this Christmas. So I can't wait for that. But yeah, man, it's going to be a good time. Obviously we got the presents under the tree, the stocking stuffers for everybody. But the most important thing is family and fellowship and just having an opportunity to celebrate everybody, celebrate being happy and healthy. And this Christmas, my wife and I have an extra special celebration because we're anticipating our first child being born into this world.
It would just be so pleasant if baby Canty was born on Christmas. This is how you get hit up twice. A good twice.
No,
Brooke is the third.
I don't think
so. I get hit up in a week. I
think it's better to have it after Christmas because everybody gives you a Christmas present, but they can't really roll Christmas into the birthday if your birthday is a week after Christmas. They got to give you separate gifts. When your birthday is on Christmas, people are like, you know what? Maybe I'll just get that person one big gift. And I feel like you can get shortchanged that way. So I don't know, man. Like if my preference would be that he comes after Christmas, but before 2026, so I can count on him on 2025 taxes. So that is the sweet spot, coming after Christmas, but before New Year's.
Yeah, you see, you learned that lesson as a parent. Had a baby this year so you can claim on the taxes. You're a smart man. You're a smart man.
Yeah.
Listen, we gonna jump straight into the show. This year, we not only have NBA for Christmas, but we also have the NFL starting in 2024. Netflix launched their Christmas Day special. I did some research, Canty. This goes back to 1971, where two division rivals would play on football Sunday. Christmas football. But I really can't recall it. All I recall is nothing but NBA games growing up on that Christmas Day. What about you? What have you fell in love with? Have you fell in love with the slate of Christmas games for football, or are you still down home with that NFL matchup?
Nah, I'm with the NFL. I'm gonna have my eyes on the NFL screen. Now, I got a little caveat here. That second window of NBA games, that Spurs Oklahoma City Thunder game, I'm gonna be locked in on that now. I'm gonna be locked in on. With all respect to the NFL slate, Cowboys, Commanders, Lions, Vikings, Broncos, Chiefs. When it comes to the NBA slate, at 2:30 p.m. on Christmas Day, I'm gonna be locked in on SGA versus Wemby. You better believe it. And I love what we're seeing from these two teams. Remember, they matched up in the semifinals of the Emirates Cup for the NBA in-season tournament, and the Spurs bested them when we went off, obviously, but then also De'Aaron Fox and Dylan Harper and Devin Vassell, all of those dudes balled as well. So it's Stephon Castle. So I'm excited about this matchup because I think the San Antonio Spurs have all of the elements that it takes to actually compete with Oklahoma City. They have frontline size, they have depth, they have scoring. They have what I believe is the most unstoppable force in the NBA in Victor Wembanyama. So I'm excited to see that particular matchup on Christmas Day because I do think it can be a prelude to what we get in the Western Conference Finals.
Now, I don't know why you wouldn't watch too much of star quarterback versus no name. Listen, we got Dak Prescott versus Josh Johnson. We got Jared Goff versus, I don't even know Max's last name, but his name is Max something.
Max Brosman?
Yeah. This is what you're giving me for Christmas? I asked for Coach and you gave me Coach Bus. I'm trying to figure this out. I asked for Gucci and you gave me Lucci.
It's like them State Farm commercials. You asked for King Henry, but you got some bogus dude in a costume acting like he's a king.
This all Cliff Paul.
Yeah, this is all Cliff Paul.
Bro, I would love to watch this slate of games. We do have some good ones. I mean, there's always a good Cowboys Commanders game. You always got to watch one of those.
Yeah.
But just the quarterback situation, it makes me not want to tune in.
Yeah, man.
At all.
I will say this. Yeah, I don't know that I want to be locked in on any of those games. The interesting thing that I would say though, when it comes to the late game, the nightcap, the Chiefs Broncos game, I don't think people realize how good Patrick Mahomes is, but they're going to figure it out now at the end of the season, right? Because the Kansas City Chiefs look god-awful against the Tennessee Titans. They got smacked by the Titans. They lost by 3 possessions. Think about that. You lost to the Tennessee Titans by 3 possessions without Patrick Mahomes. That just shows you how good Patrick Mahomes is. And now with the Chiefs dealing with the Mahomes injury, Gardner Minshew banged up, you're just seeing how bad this team is and how ill-equipped they are to be able to overcome what's going on with Mahomes. But it just brings into focus how poor the supporting cast around Patrick really is and how much the Kansas City Chiefs organization is taking him for granted.
Did they put all their eggs in one basket all these years?
Well, well, here's the thing. You always put all your eggs in the quarterback basket. Quarterback is the most important position in all of team sports. But the quarterback position, just because they have so much influence, doesn't mean that guy isn't dependent on others doing their job at a high level. And I think that's the part that I got to beef with the Chiefs on. Like, you know that your quarterback has to be protected. You know that he needs reliable receivers to catch the ball. You know that he's going to be even better with a run game. And you didn't give him any of those elements. And so I guess that's the most disappointing part of it. It's not that they haven't tried to address it. It's just that all of the things that they've done have failed to this point. And in the face of that failure is Patrick Mahomes recovering from a torn LCL and ACL.
Now, let's go back in memory. And I want to bring the viewers in mind. My favorite Christmas game is right after that 3-1 comeback from the Cavaliers, my number 2 favorite player of all time, Tracy McGrady's number 1, but number 2, LeBron James. Him, Kyrie Irving going against the Golden State Warriors, that Kevin Durant debut on Christmas when Clay hit a shot, then Kyrie came back, hit the game winner. That was one of the best Christmas games I've ever seen. The score ended in 108, 109. The Cleveland Cavaliers taking down the Golden State Warriors after they got Kevin Durant. Big Christmas game. Do you got any Christmas games that come to mind, or any big Christmas moments that just spark your sports interest?
Man, it's crazy, but I really don't. I really don't have any big moments when it comes to NBA Christmas. We always looked at NBA Christmas slate as the line of demarcation for where the players started taking the NBA season seriously. And now it feels like it's starting to become later and later in the calendar. And I'm trying to figure out why the NBA is trying to sell us on these games in the first half of the season being important when it doesn't feel like the players feel that way. If it's not a cup game and players competing for extra money that's not baked into their contract, then I don't know how serious players are going to take it. So it's interesting. I'm interested to see the effort from the teams outside of that Spurs Thunder game, because I think that's a unique game. I think that ends up being a measuring stick game in a lot of ways for San Antonio. And of course, OKC is going to be up for the challenge. But when you look at Cavs Knicks, when you look at Mavs Warriors, when you look at the Rockets game, I just want to know, I mean, when you look at Rockets Lakers, when you look at T-Wolves Nuggets, like those are the games I'm like, I don't know if we're going to see the effort that we really want to see from NBA players. So we'll find out. Now, it's a huge stage. I know NBA players look forward to Christmas Day games, but on the whole, when you look at this time of year in comparison to the NFL and how much the games mean to those teams, I think there's a little bit of a difference. Now, the one thing I will say about the NFL slate, which gets interesting, is that there are playoff implications when it comes to 2 of the 3 games, right? Because the Lions are fighting for their playoff lives, and the Denver Broncos, coming off of the loss against the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're fighting for their positioning as well. So remember, Denver last week was the number 1 seed in the AFC. If Denver loses this game, and I know that's a big stretch, but if Denver gets upset by Kansas City, you know the Chiefs players would love nothing more than to find a way to spoil Denver's season. The Denver Broncos go from potentially being the top seed in the AFC and hosting a home playoff game to having to start the postseason on the road as a wild card. So I think that is something that's really, really interesting to watch.
And just to jog your memory, we had some memorable NFL moments. I don't know if you recall back in 2020, we had Alvin Kamara, 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
6 touchdowns. 1989, when I was born, we had Boomer Esiason going for 367 on Christmas for the Bengals.
All right.
So you got some throwback moments. You had Larry Center, 1995. 12 catches, 172 yards for the Cardinals. So little Christmas games. Little Christmas games, but the Alvin Kamara one is the most hilarious because he said he's still never turned in those shoes for that 6 touchdown game.
I wouldn't either.
He said they fined him, so why is he about to give them the shoes for free? Pay him or give him back the fine.
Yeah, I'm not giving them the shoes. Nah, it's in the shoes. I'm not giving them shoes back. That's one of them things that might be in my trophy case forever.
Yeah. Listen, we got 99 problems, but it take Nate one. We got a whole bunch of games between Thursday and Sunday. So Canty, let's get straight to it. Cowboys Commanders, Christmas Day. Who do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys. And here's the thing. I know the Cowboys are out of the playoff mix, but how they finish the season goes a long ways to determining my confidence level in their overall trajectory and the core that they've assembled. They got to find a way to win the last 2 games. I think it's important that the Dallas Cowboys go into the offseason with a 500 record and making sure that they don't finish the season with a losing record. And when you look at what they're up against, you got the Washington Commanders, and then you got the New York Giants. If you can't find a way to best those 2 teams after the moves that you made, then you have to question whether or not you made the right decisions in making those in-season trades and using a part of the haul that you got for Michael Parsons in order to build this current roster. So I think it's important for Brian Schottenheimer. It's important for Jerry Jones that this team finishes the season on a high note. That way you can have confidence that they are headed down the right path in terms of building a team that will allow you to have sustained success into the future and take advantage of the prime years of Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I was pulling for the Cowboys. They needed to win out. I was pulling for them. Unfortunately, it didn't work out the way we wanted it to. But listen, they got some good foundation. Those trades,
well,
what Jerry did.
We'll see. I can't say you got a good foundation if you lose to the Commanders and the Giants.
You win some, you lose some.
Okay.
But in their defense, we got the Lions and Vikings. Like you said, Detroit fighting for their lives. Who you got?
I'm going to go with the Lions. I don't know, man. The last time we saw Max Brosmer up in Seattle, it didn't go so well. It was a nightmarish performance. The guy had 4 turnovers. I would anticipate that it would be a lot better off this time around. But even with that said, Detroit just has a sense of desperation, a sense of urgency. They probably feel like they got hosed with the way that Steelers game ended. So I'm looking for Detroit to get some get back in week 17, and I think it's going to be at the expense of the Minnesota Vikings. Remember, Minnesota beat Detroit in Detroit earlier in the season. So this is not a team that they're going to be sleeping on by any stretch with Dan Campbell's bunch. So I think this is going to be a good old-fashioned ass whipping. The Detroit Lions take care of their business.
Oh, BTA game. BTA game. We got the Broncos versus the Chiefs at night. So after you open up all your gifts, you finish cuddling up, you get a chance to drink some hot cocoa and watch the paddyless Mahomes Chiefs going against Bo Nix. Who you got?
I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos. And to me, this game is all about Bo Nix, but it's also about the Denver Broncos defense. They got embarrassed by the Jacksonville Jaguars, who came into their building and pretty much did anything they wanted offensively. Trevor Lawrence is as hot as any quarterback in the NFL. And so I think that Denver Broncos defense is reeling a bit. And this is the perfect get-right game. This is the perfect slump buster. An anemic Kansas City Chiefs offense. They can't run the ball. Receivers can't catch passes. They can't block. This should be a game that the Denver Broncos defense absolutely dominates. And so I'm anticipating seeing a statement performance from the Denver Broncos in this matchup.
Hey, listen, the game's extended Saturday. We got the Texans and Chargers. This is going to be a big and meaningful game.
Yeah.
Texans, Chargers. Yeah. The Texans need to win out. So who do you got in this game?
Oh, man, I'm going with the Texans. And I just think this is a styles makes fights type of deal. Remember, the Chargers' offensive line is banged up, and the Houston Texans have maybe the most dynamic 1-2 punch when it comes to pass rush, and Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter. Those guys flat out get after it. This Texas team is playing their best football of the season at the right time. And so I would say that the Houston Texans take care of their business against the LA Chargers. Again, I don't want to dismiss what the Chargers are, but I think the Texans win this game. And remember, the Texans bested the Chargers in the wild card game in Houston last year. And it ended up being a rough performance for Justin Herbert, him having multiple turnovers. So I think this could be more of the same. That Texans team, man, that's a squad that a lot of people aren't talking about. To me, that's a dark horse team that could represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. That's how good the Houston Texans are.
Now, the Houston Texans started off 0-2.
0-3. They started off 0-3.
0-3.
Yeah.
0-3. You were on a team that started off 0-2. Going into the third game, you guys started picking up a little momentum. Do you remember what team that was and what happened at the end of that season?
Was that the 2011 Giants?
That was the 07.
Oh, the 07 Giants. So let me say this. I wasn't on the 07 team. I was with the Dallas Cowboys. But what I will tell what I will tell you about that 07 team, that 07 team found a way to punch above their weight class. I think that is a much better team than the individual parts would suggest. You know, they always say the sum is greater than the individual parts. That is the defining characteristic of the 2007 Dallas Cowboys. And I know it all too well because their championship run came at my expense. I was on the Dallas Cowboys during that season. We were 13-3, number 1 seed in the NFC, second round of the playoffs after our first round bye. New York Giants rolled into our building and beat us after we beat them twice in the regular season. There was a level of grit. There was a level of toughness that team had. And I see a lot of those same things with the Houston Texans, man. A lot of those same things, man. The Texans have been rolling. I don't know if people know this, but this Texans team has been playing really, really good football. Think about this. The Texans have won 7 games in a row. And I'll be honest with you, it could have been 9 in a row had it not been for a last-second loss to the Denver Broncos, a game where they had backup quarterback Davis Mills as their guy. But I mean, that it took all of the Denver Broncos to win that game. Remember, Will Lutz kicked a game-winning field goal at the gun in order to beat the Texans. So that's how close the Texans are to being on a 9-game win streak. Again, this is going to be a really, really tough out. And I think it's going to be fascinating to see what happens with the Texans down the stretch.
Yeah, listen, sometimes you fumble the rock. I definitely, in my brain, I don't know why, I think in 2007 you was on those Giants. You definitely was a Cowboy.
Yeah.
My quarterback.
But you know what? If you can't beat them, join them. And that's what I did.
Yeah, you joined them and won one with them. Now, a team I know you definitely played for, the Ravens versus Packers, 8 p.m. on Saturday. Who you got?
Oh, man. I'm going with the Packers. They got to find a way to get right. It was a heartbreaking loss for them up in Soldier Field. They're reeling with a bunch of injuries. Both the quarterbacks banged up. Jordan Love had the concussion. Malik Willis got banged up. But the Packers gave a lot better effort than I think most people anticipated in the wake of the Michael Parsons injury. Packers are a really good football team. They still got a ton of talent despite the injuries. And so I think the Packers end up taking care of their business against Baltimore. Remember, Lamar Jackson is banged up. He didn't finish the last week's game because of a back injury. Not sure what his status is going to be going into this week. And on top of that, you're starting to hear all of these grumblings from Dan Graziano and other reporters at ESPN about how it's no guarantee that Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh are back with the Ravens next year. Things are getting real dicey in Baltimore, and there's the potential for a lot of change within that organization if the season ends on a sour note. And so I think that dysfunction, I think that plays a role in terms of the version of the Ravens that we see show up against the Packers. Give me the Green Bay Packers.
Listen, we're going to have to play this back. There was something you said in our earlier episodes. You said, Q, don't quote me on this, but be surprised if John Harbaugh is back next year as the coach of the Ravens.
That is correct. That is correct.
You said that, I think it was episode 3 or 4. So it was very early in the season. You said that.
That is correct.
They ain't getting rid of the quarterback.
Nah.
They ain't getting rid of the quarterback, so we know
it's too hard
who must go.
It's too hard to find guys that win multiple MVPs, a guy that's a future Hall of Famer, and a guy that's, 29 years old? How old is Lamar Jackson? Lamar Jackson can't be that old, man.
Nah, Lamar Jackson's still
Lamar Jackson is 28 years old, bro.
He's 28.
28 years. I'm not getting rid of a 28-year-old that's won multiple MVPs. Are you out of your mind?
Well, you were actually right because he turned 29 on the 7th. So 29.
Well, whatever it is.
And he lost weight, slimmed down. I mean, I think when players do that whole lose weight, let me change my diet, you've seen a lot more soft tissue things with Lamar this year.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. It's a big man's game. So when an NFL player is telling me about slimming down, unless he got a lot of extra to give, I don't believe in that. It's a big man's game out there. And you need more cushion for the pushing.
Yeah. You definitely need that.
That's just a good way to live.
Listen, he ain't living right being on the bench. Listen, we got 2 primetime games, and then we going to end 99 problems. We got the Bears versus 49ers.
Yeah, I'll take the Bears. I'm curious to see how that 49ers defense stops that Chicago Bears run game. Again, I think this is a situation where stylistically 49ers are going to have a lot of problems trying to stop what Chicago wants to do and how they want to run the football. I know that the 49ers had a nice win on Monday Night Football against the Indianapolis Colts, but think about it. A couple of extra days to prepare for Chicago in comparison to the San Francisco 49ers. And then that Colts offense was able to put up some points against that 49ers defense. So give me the Chicago Bears in that matchup.
Well, we got another matchup. Let's say the Rams and Falcons Monday Night Football. Who you got?
Oh man, give me the Rams. I don't think this one is going to be particularly close. I think this is about the Rams finding a way to bounce back. Remember, the Rams played Thursday night in Week 16, so a lot of extra time to prepare. And I think that Sean McVay is going to take full advantage of that. So I'll take the Rams, and I'll take the Rams big. I wouldn't have any issue laying the 7.5 points.
Listen, it's a lot of games. We didn't go through every 1 p.m. We didn't go through every 4. It's a lot of games this weekend. Canty, 'tis the season. What does the season mean to you?
Oh man, listen, the season means love. The season means being able to share with those that you hold close, that you hold dear. I'm just so grateful for everyone in my family, everyone in my circle. And the holiday season is all about loving up on those folks. The Christmas season is all about loving up on those folks. So it's a time of year where everybody is introspective to some degree, but it's also a time of year where folks can make some lifelong memories. And that's what I focus on during the Christmas season. So that's what it means to me, big bro.
Listen, I'm a fan of gift giving. That's what I love about the season. Not only just love and cherishing those around you, also, we're church kids. We know who's the reason for the season, and that's celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. So we always want to make sure we do that. Yeah, and I think for me, it's all about giving. I think I get more when I'm able to give and see the smiles on faces, see the shocked and awe of getting that thing that you thought wasn't going to be possible. Um, but also, I have a quote, it takes a lot to be able to give. And that's something I've always said. It takes a lot to be able to give. So, all my hard work, all my effort, and everything that I've given this year to not only my career, the companies I work with, the partners I have, and then even to this pod, to see it start manifesting and be able to give back to my community, my family, my tribe, and tell them happy holidays. At the end of the day, I know it's one of those things that becomes commercialized. But for me, it's just about spreading a little joy and bringing smiles to faces when typically maybe you don't have many to smile around. Canty, what's your favorite childhood gift?
Oh, favorite childhood Christmas gift. Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna say this, and this is a throwback. I'm dating myself, but I got a Nintendo Power Pad one year for Christmas. And for those kids that don't know what the Nintendo Power Pad was, it's an actual pad that you had where you could actually run on it, and it would correspond to the video game. So they had like the track and field joint on the track and field video game on Nintendo, and you could actually be a track star on the Nintendo Power Pad. Now, for those that know, the cheat code was actually not running on it, but using your hands and getting your hands to give you the 1-2 on the Power Pad that make the runners run faster. So the Nintendo Power Pad, I got that one year for Christmas. That was one of the best Christmas gifts I ever received.
Dang, I think it's a fellas thing for video games because, like me, it was the first ever Xbox.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, I won a contest in school, and my science teacher, Miss Mitchell, and I remember her name to this day, Miss Mitchell, beautiful woman, dreads, amazing, amazing teacher. And she bought me a whole bunch of Xbox games, and I was a little bit like, what am I gonna do with these games? I gave them to my mom, said, hey, I don't have an Xbox. She said, well, it costs a little too much. That's when games was like 500-600, when 500-600 felt like 1,000. You know what I mean? Back
Yeah,
then,
that's a lot
back
of money,
then.
bro.
So we go to whole Christmas Day, and I'm thinking I didn't get my Xbox, and what does mom bring out the room? That fire Xbox. So I think it was one of those things where it was like I watched her make a way out of
Yeah,
no way
yeah,
because it's
yeah,
4 of us. She had to provide us all with Christmas, and getting that system for me, that was just one of those big things. And I think also it kept me in the house, so she didn't mind that. It
yeah,
kept me in the house just chilling, hanging out with my siblings. But
yeah.
or nothing's good like a good.
When did the Xbox come out? Early 2000s?
Yes.
Oh,
Early 2000s. It had to be maybe '04. Oh, no,
I
excuse me.
think it might. I think it
'02.
might have been like 01, 02, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
'02.
was, I was,
First
I was, I was in
Xbox.
college. I was in college when that happened. I was thinking about another Xbox.
Not
I'm just saying.
Not during this season. I thought Mama Canty was about to pop you in the back of your head. Somebody else gonna pop you with a shoe. You play in the wrong game.
I was playing the right game back then. Game back then.
Yeah. Leave that system where it's at, brother. Leave that system where it's at. Yo, Canty, you got any wins for the week?
Oh, man. You know what? I'm going to go with the win for Sammy Darnold being elected to the Pro Bowl. Sam Darnold, Pro Bowler. This dude's career arc has completely changed, completely shifted, seeing what he's been able to do. Since the start of 2024, no quarterback has more regular season wins than Sam Darnold. I don't think enough people want to get this dude his flowers. But Sam Darnold, back-to-back years being in the Pro Bowl, I think this is somebody that people have to acknowledge is a really good player, and he's starting to live up to all of the potential that the New York Jets saw in him when they took him with the 3rd overall pick in that 2018 draft. Think about this. Sam Darnold was taken ahead of Josh Allen. He was taken ahead of Lamar Jackson. And a lot of people had that as a consensus that he was a better prospect than both of those quarterbacks who have won MVPs. Sam Darnold, from a physical standpoint, has that kind of talent. And now you're starting to see him marry that talent into his overall game. And it's starting to become something really special for the Seattle Seahawks. So I think it's time for everybody to give Sammy Darnold his flowers, man. The kid deserves it.
Yeah. Listen, I think that game was an amazing game.
Yeah.
You got to not only see Sam Darnold go off, but you also got to see what I think might be the MVP of the season. And Matt Stafford. So I think that was a good game. Hot take, don't worry next.
Let me ask you a question. Can you get the MVP if you don't win your division?
I mean, we've seen Russell Westbrook get the MVP. He was
that's
like the
That's basketball, man. I'm talking about the football.
Sometimes I think the narrative gets very dehydrated. You know what I mean? And I don't think they're going to give it to Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen got it again because it was a little too much Lamar fatigue.
Yeah.
So I think the voters might see what Matthew Stafford has done and the season he put together. He might not win the division, but I think statistically he's the best quarterback in the league right now, leading in yards, touchdowns, and etc.
Is there any chance that a couple of the young guns can get in there? Can Drizzy get in there? Can Trevor Lawrence get in there?
Oh, man. You know what's crazy? You wouldn't even think what was my win for the week. My win this week was actually the quarterback class because they actually showing up.
Okay.
So now that you're saying Drizzy, I think now tying that to my win of the week, I think it's possible. I just feel like for storyline purposes, now you're talking to a marketer. It's never the story, it's how you tell it. I think having Matthew Stafford win the MVP, coming from Detroit, getting a Super Bowl, now coming from Detroit, getting an MVP, it just tells a good full circle moment in his career. It gives him the ability to maybe bow out. He might retire this year. You remember that back wasn't standing too up. Back
look fine now.
Yeah, Bad Matt was in the beginning of the season. He was Bad Matt. So I like seeing, maybe the Patriots star quarterback coming out this year, breaking through in Jersey May. But nah, I think Stafford might have it. He might have it. But again, my win for the week is the 2024 draft class of QBs. We got not only Jalen Daniels. We already knew where he was. He was hurt, banged up this year. We're going to see next year where he really is. We got Drizzy. Penix excluded. And JJ. If you remove them too, the draft class looks like it's starting to live up to what people thought it was going to be. You got Caleb leaving the way. You see that throw at the end of the game?
Yeah.
That right there, DJ Moore, right in the breadbasket.
Caleb is a problem, bro.
Right in the breadbasket, and them being able to clinch a playoff spot. It's been a while since I've seen them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think the last time the Bears was in the playoffs, Brandon Marshall was on the team. So big win to that draft class, but back to Canty's question. Yeah, Stafford, I think I want him to win. The storyline is going to be great. Okay. The storyline is going to be great. What loss you got for the week, Canty?
Man, DK Metcalf, dude. You get fined almost $1 million, and you got $45 million in your contract and guarantees voided because of this suspension. DK Metcalf just got to be smarter, man. It's chess, not checkers. I understand that you're frustrated. I understand fans can do and say things that can get under your skin, but it's never a win to go up to a fan and put your hands on them. It's too many cameras in the stadium. Everybody's going to see it. And now on top of the suspension, the ramifications for the Pittsburgh Steelers in terms of their playoffs chances and them trying to close out the season strong. And on top of that, the ramifications with your contract, you got to deal with the legal system. And this fan potentially holding you liable for assaulting him in front of everybody. So, yeah, man, just a mess. It's completely unnecessary from DK Metcalf. I don't have a lot of sympathy for stupid. And so he's going to get everything thrown at him because the NFL is trying to send a strong message about, the entertainment product and their patrons being protected and having the right to boo, having the right to fan the way that they want to fan, absent of hitting the players. And when the players hit you and you don't hit them, when you don't provoke them with physical violence, then all of a sudden the league is going to be heavy-handed with the discipline. So DK Metcalf is my loss.
What the fan is saying, all he did was call him by his full name. And now you call a man by his full name. I don't think that's warranted.
Say my name.
It ain't warranted though. But he's saying the bank's name and the NFL's name the way he giving up some of that money because I think it voided $40 million worth of guarantees.
$45 million in guarantees in his contract.
That's crazy. And then also the fan was a lawyer.
Yikes!
Something civil is coming.
Yikes!
You know something civil coming when you assault a lawyer. I think the case gets a little bit expedited with how they put in the paperwork.
DK might be working for that fan for a few games.
He might be giving them season tickets.
You're gonna be working for that season ticket. I don't want no damn season tickets. I want season game checks.
Well, you're right because he definitely was a Steelers fan. He was a Lions fan, so he definitely wasn't gonna show any love.
You're gonna be working for me, homeboy.
Now, my loss for the week, and maybe you could feel this, is going to the Tampa Bay Bucks. At the start of the season, we thought that Baker Mayfield was going to be the MVP.
Yep.
We seen Mbuka come out, hit the ground running as a wide receiver. Yep. Even a week or so ago, even some moments in this past game versus the Carolina Panthers, I seen Mike Evans back. You know what I mean? Even if it was just a goal line just up and Mike Evans just give you a good one and hit the celebration. But them losing to the Carolina Panthers now has them on a hot seat of potentially not making the playoffs.
Yeah, they're not going to make it.
They have nothing but must-win games. Canty, I know usually is my loss of the week, but I definitely want to hear you sound off on this. Bryce Young, looking like he about to bring the Panthers to the playoffs. Did you see that in the tarot card reading at the start of this year?
I did not see that in the tarot card reading at the start of this year. Didn't see it. But here's what I'll say. Tampa has got a chance still because they play the Carolina Panthers in the final game of the season. And the Carolina Panthers have a home game against the Seattle Seahawks in Week 17. So the Seattle Seahawks could do the Tampa Bay Bucks a solid. But if Seattle does best Carolina, which I think they will, then all of a sudden it's on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to finish the drill and to beat the Panthers in Week 18, and that's easier said than done, but that is something that has to happen. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at Baker Mayfield and Todd Bowles a little bit sideways.
Yeah. And a lot of people are saying free Todd. I don't know if you've seen some of the names.
Listen, I want Todd Bowles to be down there in Tampa. He feels like he's found a home. They've had a lot of success. They won the division 4 years in a row. Back off of Todd Bowles. I'm just saying that there are going to be a lot of difficult questions that need answering. And it would be absolutely embarrassing to lose the division to the Carolina Panthers.
Yes, sir. Canty, let them know where they can find you at.
Oh, man, you can find me on all social media platforms at ChrisCanty99. You can find me on Sportsmanlike, 6 to 10 a.m. weekdays on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU. Also find me on Sportsmanlike social media channels with the handle in the name. And then, of course, you can find me at the In My Defense podcast on YouTube and on all social channels. Q, what about you?
Listen, you can find me at QE_Beeman1 and then also here at In My Defense Pod. Again, we say In My Defense Pod. We thank you guys for listening. We thank you guys for tuning in. We hope you had an amazing holiday season. If you didn't get the gift you want, don't worry. They left a return receipt in there. All you could do is take it back and get your money back. And if they ask where it is, don't argue. Just tell them, but in my defense. Appreciate y'all.
My dog.